St. Catherine was born in Siena, Italy in, I think, 1337 maybe. I think she died in 1380, only 33 years old. She was the youngest of 25 children. Her mother must have been an incredible person. And at the age of 6, she had her first vision of Jesus. At a young age, she became very taken up with prayer and wanting to get closer and closer to God. As a teenager, her mother was strongly encouraging her to prepare for marriage, which would have been normal, but she resisted it. She said she did not want to marry, and she joined the Third Order Dominicans, and she actually wore their habit. You see St. Catherine pictured with the black veil and the white robe underneath. And she attached herself to the Dominican order. She became very concerned about the condition of the church. It was a time of great schism in the church. The Pope had left Rome and was living in Avignon, France. There were lots of heresies and problems surrounding the church. And there was a need for reform of the clergy. There was need for so much reform in the church itself. Catherine had great insight. She was a mystic. She had mystical experiences with Christ. She had visions of the Lord. She had the stigmata, although it did not appear on her body until after she died. In the writings about St. Catherine, about the Trinity, she says that the more that I search for you, the more I find. But the more I find, the more I hunger for. I'm never satisfied. There's always so much more to know and understand about the Trinity. She had a deep spirituality and a deep faith. She was not afraid she was constantly writing letters to the Pope to come back to Rome. She was not afraid to confront cardinals and legates and different church authorities. And she was correct about so many things. She acted in truth, as we read in the first reading today, and that she was a woman who just wanted to see peace in the church, loved the church. She was very charitable in her actions, a great saint. So St. Catherine's a model for us, that we're all hungering for total union with Christ. We will not achieve that with the Trinity until we get to heaven. But along the way, we have the opportunity, like this morning, here at Mass, to communicate with Christ, to receive his body and blood, to listen to him, his words, and to let him touch our hearts and our lives wherever we are today. St. Catherine was a woman who had great trust in God. She was not afraid to follow the promptings of the Lord in doing good. So we thank today we thank God for the gift of her example in her life, her love for the church, her meditations on the suffering of Christ. All these things were so important to St. Catherine, and we ask the Lord to help us imitate that same love for the church. Let us stand and offer our prayers and petitions.